My name is John Bennett. I'm a First Sergeant United States Marine Corps. I spent about 15 years on active duty. I've been in the reserves for about 5 years. I'm also a state representative for District 2 here in Oklahoma. You know, freedom and liberty has a huge meaning in my life. And I spent time in Iraq and Afghanistan. One of my last trips from Afghanistan, I got on board a C-130 that was going from one base to another, and they had some cargo on the plane. I got on the plane, and there was about 4 caskets on there that were draped in the American flag. And if you've never seen anything like that, it's hard to really understand the true price of freedom and liberty. I got on the plane, and when we got off the plane, I watched them as they escorted the coffins off the plane onto their farther journey. When I got back here to Oklahoma, I was talking to a senator here in the state, and the senator had said that he had run into a young lady that was pushing for some things for the National Guard. She said that she wanted to talk to him about scheduling the family members of the veterans that were serving overseas at that time, the National Guard members of Oklahoma, to come and see how things were run on the House floor and how the legislature worked. So he said he would do that, and he scheduled it, and they came. They came and they filled the entire gallery full and got to watch how everything went and talked to the legislators. Well, after they got done, about 2 weeks later, he received a phone call from the same young lady to alert him that her husband that was serving in Afghanistan at the time was killed. He was killed in action. And they brought his body back in a casket draped flag. And she asked the senator, she said, "Can you go with me to receive my husband's body?" And he said that he would. And he went, and when they opened the back of the plane and started escorting the bodies off, it's just a surreal moment. And they went to the casket, and the wife, of course, she laid over the casket, and she was in tears and very upset. And the senator put one hand on her shoulder and one hand on the casket on top of the flag. And he was kind of just saying a little prayer for her there, and she looked up at him and she says, "We can't let the price of liberty and freedom be thrown away. This is what it costs. Please promise me that you'll keep and spread on the real cost of freedom and liberty." And I think that's probably the best way to describe the real cost of freedom and liberty. Being a legislator and being a Marine myself, I made a lot of sacrifices, and a lot of us do as Americans, to keep that liberty. And right now, I believe in Washington, D.C. and throughout many of the states, we're losing those liberties that were guaranteed to us in our Constitution. Our forefathers saw that need for our Constitution. They foresaw that need to put God first in our nation, and we're slowly seeping away from that. And because of that, our nation as a whole is paying in all different ways. And we need to get back to those roots of our God, family, and our country, and our Constitution. And until we do that, I'm not so sure that our country is headed in the right direction. And it's something that we all need to stand together, start on our knees and start praying, and then start doing what's right according to our Constitution.